Today, we travel into one of the most silent and dangerous corners of America. A place so wide and so wild that thousands of people have gone missing without leaving a single clue behind. This is the Alaskan Triangle. And for the next 25 minutes, we will explore real cases, strange disappearances, local legends, and the unsettling question of why this region keeps swallowing people without a trace. When most people think about Alaska, they imagine white mountains, giant forests, endless snowfields, and quiet skies. But hidden inside that beauty is a deeper and darker layer of mystery. Over the last several decades, more than 16,000 people have vanished in this region. Some were hikers or pilots, some were experienced hunters. Some were entire groups of people who knew the wild better than anyone. And yet they disappeared as if they stepped into a place where reality no longer works the way we expect. Our story begins with the geography of the Alaskan Triangle. Draw a simple map from Anchorage in the south to Juneau in the southeast and then all the way north to Barrow. Everything inside that space is known as the Triangle. It covers mountains, forests, frozen lakes, deep valleys, and thousands of miles of land so remote that no one goes there without a plan. Even rescue helicopters shake their heads at the thought of entering some parts of this region. But why is this place so dangerous? There are three main answers. One is nature, one is human, and one is something that science still has not explained. First, let us talk about nature. Alaska is huge. It is bigger than many countries combined. Weather changes in seconds. One moment the sky is clear, and the next moment, a thick wall of fog rises from the valleys. Pilots explain that flying here feels like the weather is alive. A wrong turn can take a person straight into a mountain. A small mistake can make a hiker vanish under snow that will not melt for months. But even with that explanation, something still feels strange, because the number of disappearances here is far beyond what normal weather can explain. One of the most famous cases is the disappearance of a small airplane carrying a well-known United States politician in the 1970s. The plane was flying a normal route. The weather was not dangerous. The pilot was experienced. But halfway through the journey, the aircraft simply disappeared from radar. Search teams looked for weeks. They found nothing. No metal, no crash marks, no smoke, not even a piece of fabric. It was as if the entire plane evaporated in the sky. That single case forced the government to organize one of the largest search operations in American history. But they did not find anything. And to this day, the full case remains unsolved. Another well-known disappearance involves a group of hikers traveling through a region of the Triangle known for strange sounds and sudden temperature drops. These hikers were confident, they had training, they had equipment, they had maps. Their communications stopped suddenly during the second night. The rescuers finally found their camp many days later. Everything inside the camp was untouched. Their food was there, their water was there, their survival tools were there. Only the hikers themselves were missing. There were no footprints leading away. No signs of struggle, no animal attack marks. The snow was flat and untouched. It was as if they walked out of reality. Local residents often speak about the land itself. They say the region has a personality. According to old legends, the forests contain openings that do not lead to normal places. Shadows move strangely. People feel watched even when alone. Some hikers report hearing voices calling their names from far away. When they try to reach the source of the sound, they end up lost in places that should not exist on any map. But again, we must be careful. This documentary will not use any supernatural claims. Our job is to explain history and mystery in a responsible way. So let us return to facts. The facts are impressive and concerning. Over many years, more than 16,000 people have disappeared inside the Alaskan Triangle without recovery. Many of them were never found again. In some rare recovery cases, the bodies were discovered in locations that did not match the direction of travel. Expert trackers examined the scenes and described the same confusing pattern. Footsteps would continue normally and then end, not fade, not get covered, just end. Now let us study the magnetic fields of the region because many researchers believe the answer may be hidden below the ground. Alaska contains strong magnetic anomalies. These anomalies can interfere with compasses and aircraft instruments. Pilots often report that their navigation controls behave strangely near certain mountain ridges. Scientists studying this region found pockets of magnetic disturbance that can confuse even the most advanced equipment. This raises an interesting question. Could magnetic anomalies cause aircraft to take wrong turns? Could they interfere with communication? Could they create sudden disorientation in hikers who depend on compass direction? These ideas are not supernatural. They are scientific theories supported by data. But magnetic anomalies do not explain everything, especially the clean disappearance cases with no wreckage and no signs of struggle. Another possible explanation is the geography itself. The terrain is full of massive crevices, ice caves, deep lakes, and hidden drop-offs. A person can fall into some of these spaces and never be found, even with advanced sonar technology. Alaska has more glaciers than most regions on Earth. A body trapped inside a glacier becomes part of a moving river of ice that can bury evidence for centuries. Let us now travel through another real case that is often discussed among researchers. A rescue team once reported receiving a distress signal from a hiking group inside the triangle. When they arrived at the coordinate, they found the transmitter lying in perfect condition on the ground. The hikers were gone. There were no footprints leading in or out of the area. The transmitter had been placed on a flat patch of snow. Temperature was normal. There were no signs of panic. The team described the location as too calm for what had happened. These cases have shaped modern American mystery culture. Many documentaries, books, and podcasts explore the Alaskan Triangle. But deep inside these stories is a very human truth. Alaska is large. Alaska is lonely. Alaska is powerful. And the combination of harsh nature and unpredictable geography can overwhelm even the strongest person. But still something remains unexplained. Why this region? Why so many cases in one triangular zone? Why such clean disappearances now? Let us explore cultural history. For thousands of years, native groups in Alaska have spoken about places in the land where strange things happen. Their stories involve people disappearing into mountains or vanishing near lakes. Some tales describe the land as having windows where people can enter, but not return. These stories are not considered literal by historians, but they show that the region has always been considered unusual. Now let us imagine a traveler walking into the forest. He hears wind blowing through the tall trees. He sees the ground covered in frozen moss. He follows a narrow path between two ridges. The temperature drops. Fog rises quickly. Within minutes, all landmarks disappear. The ground becomes uneven. There is no sky visible. In such conditions, even an experienced explorer can become lost within seconds. This natural disorientation can turn deadly. But even then, the person usually leaves tracks. The Alaskan Triangle tracks often vanish. That is the detail that troubles investigators the most. Scientists studying missing person patterns in America created a map of the Alaskan Triangle. They marked each disappearance point with a dot. The final pattern looked like clusters, not random dots. Clusters. Certain areas have unusually high numbers of vanishings. Why would disappearances form concentrated clusters in specific valleys and ridges? Some believe these clusters correspond with tectonic fault lines. These faults can create natural underground openings, sudden collapses, and strange energy readings. Again, this is scientific theory, not folklore. Researchers have documented unusual ground vibrations and magnetic spikes in some of these cluster zones. Let us now talk about one final case that shaped the modern legend. A man named Carl was exploring a low valley near a frozen lake. He was carrying a camera and recorded most of his trip. His last video showed him walking calmly while talking about the snow patterns. He complained that his compass needle was spinning. Suddenly, the video cut off, and search teams found his camera in the snow. There were no signs of Carl. His tracks stopped at the location of the camera. The camera was upright as if placed carefully, but Carl was nowhere. His body was never found. The psychological impact of these disappearances is huge. Families wait years without answers. Pilots refuse to fly certain routes. Hikers avoid specific valleys. And yet thousands of people travel into Alaska every year searching for adventure. Some return with beautiful memories. Some never return at all. So what is the final explanation? The Alaskan Triangle remains a place where nature, geography, history, and mystery mix together. There is no single answer. There is no single theory that explains everything. But one thing is clear: Alaska is one of the last wild frontiers on Earth. A place where even modern technology cannot fully protect us. A place where silence holds secrets and mountains hide stories deeper than we can imagine. As we end this documentary from Deep History Explained, remember this: The world still has places that challenge our understanding. The Alaskan Triangle is one of them. And until more evidence appears, these disappearances will continue. To remind us that nature is still more powerful than human certainty.